Hi guys, this is Lynette Dance and today we will be reviewing Singlesinferno. I binge watched it in 2 days and I love it because there's so much romance and juice. So let's get into it.
여기 두 개의 섬이 있습니다.
Singlesinferno is Netflix's latest original reality series which follows 12 single Koreans stranded on an island looking for love. Through their 8 days, they have chances to escape the island to a place called Paradise. The show ends with people who are successfully matched, just like in dating shows. Spoiler alert! If you have not watched the show, I highly recommend that you watch it before coming back to watch my video because today's video will be discussing some of the crucial points and things that happen in the video. Also, if you do not mind the spoilers, let's go! Today's review will be split into 3 parts. The first part I'll be rating the cast and also talking about my favorite members. The second part I'll talk about what I like about the show and what I think that could be some areas of improvement. And lastly, who would I recommend this show to? So before I start sharing, I've been talking to a few of my friends and I also watched a lot of YouTubers giving reviews on these shows about some of the red flags mentioned by them. So I'll be sharing a variety of opinions by others and also myself. Outfit change. Of course, we must start with the hottest personality, and that would be Gia. She's hot, she's pretty, she's charismatic, she's everything that girls dream of. She's one of the hottest pics in real life and on screen as well. So what's so good about Gia? She's very pretty. A lot of girls actually value her independence on how that she's super popular but she does not let her guard down. She obviously knows she's on her own level and what she has to offer. She knows her value super well. She's super confident in herself. I did watch a few of her YouTube videos. You know, she's a YouTuber and she's very famous on YouTube. Her YouTube personality, she's more smiley and she always talks to a fan in a very engaging manner as compared to her personality on the reality show, which gives us more of a cold vibe. But I think this is also, some of the people also mentioned that it's this cold personality and then the switch to a warm personality when you really interact with her that really drives men crazy because she hints about the future with them, like, Oppa, we should do it together in the future. I can't, you know, the level of flirting is like insane. I mean, I really respect that she's able to do that, but I personally wouldn't really vibe with her. Of course, after talking about Gia, we need to talk about the 2 guys that went crazy over her. For your info, there were 3 guys that were interested in her, but I think only 2 of them really went for the wild chase. Let's start with Sihoon, since Zula named him as the lowest in rank in terms of dateability. Do you agree with that? I do not really agree with that. Well, he's a pretty boy with a pretty face, and the fact that he went along with the pack of wolves to go over Gia is quite admirable. In the end, he does make himself look a little pathetic and a little sad. Some people mentioned that it was a red flag, the fact that he kept going for Gia even though Gia already stated her intentions very clearly that she wasn't interested. What do you think? Also, some of you mentioned that Sihoon was being very mean at the end of the show because he rejected Sumin even though Sumin chose him. Like, what do you mean, guys? This is not a show about sympathy or compassion. This is a show about romance and love. What's wrong with choosing the person you like? And it's really not fair for Sihoon considering that, you know, he's been head over heels over this girl for the first few days and then you expect him to forget about her within like, what, 30 seconds, and then the new girl comes and fall in love with the new person again in a day. That's nearly impossible, guys. You're in that deserted area for like 8 days. How do you even fall in love with 2 different people in 8 days? I think that is really too much to expect. So I'm on his side since he follows his heart and he just wants to made it known to Gia that she is his choice. I mean, the truth hurts and everyone's gonna get hurt some way or another. Next, let's move on to Hyunjung. He is aesthetic. His face is aesthetic, his body is aesthetic. Everything about him is... Ooh. I kind of like him because he's more of the quiet type and he really respects the other guests and the females very well. I agree that he's quite a gentleman and he have a fair play and also he's a well-balanced guy. I think he's confident of himself to, you know, set the boundary where if he was my boyfriend, I think he would know when is the line to draw in terms of being overly attached or too clingy, and also being too self-obsessed. That's what I feel, and you can play the push or pull game with him, so I think it's very mesmerizing. Next, we'll move on to Hyung Sung. I really like his appearance physically in terms of his tattoos, you know, that bad boy look. Even when he's dressed down, he looks very good. His piercings, and even, you know, his occupation, he's a dancer. But I found him a little flashy. I'm not sure is it because of his appearance or what. Especially when, you know, there was a moment where he had a good interaction with Yewon, but I'm not sure what happened that made him choose Jia in the end. But not to be disappointed, because if you actually follow up the news or like the gossip, they actually spotted them hanging out and they went wakeboarding together, and I think that's really cute, because I think that Hyung Sung and Yewon was a much better match than Hyung Sung and Jia, to be honest. This also brings into another point of discussion about whether the show is scripted or not, since the show seems to be revolving around this main character Jia. Was it really Hyung Sung's choice to choose Jia, or was it scripted? Since Hyung Sung clearly had a very good interaction with Sewon before that. What do you think? I know in the interview, or rather in a personal vlog by Jia, she mentioned that nothing was scripted since they are not actors, but I was really wondering the credibility of this, since this is a reality show and it's for entertainment purposes. How is it possible that it's not scripted at all, right? Oh my god, I'm finally in comfortable clothes. The outfit earlier really made me feel so uncomfortable, which also proves that I will never be Jia no matter how hard I try. So let's move on to Sejong. Sejong is a popular choice among my friends. I believe she's a popular choice among international fans as well, because she has that sporty look and she's just very wholesome in general. She comes off as someone who is very straightforward. I admire her courage to be on screen with like t-shirt and shorts, which none of the female guests did. And also, I think one of the most iconic scenes of her was when she had gotten into like a mini argument with Sehun. Personally, I feel that Sehun didn't really ask for Sejong's advice, so Sejong is a little bit insensitive in that manner to straight away tell Sehun to, you know, move on and look around you. But I think Sehun also had some big ego issues that he couldn't take a comment and had to defend his ego. That's what I feel. I feel that sometimes, you know, the actions may hurt, but if you think about the intentions come from a good place, and if you are able to accept that, then you'll be in a much better place. Now it's time to talk about Jintaek. Jintaek is charismatic. I mean, there's a lot of talk about his facial hair, his chest hair. Since it's a dating show, I'm not against the fact that he kind of had a more flirtatious nature. I think everybody was keeping their options open, so I think it's fair. For the first few days, you know, even since he was giving mixed signals between Sejong and Jia, and I love how Sejong had complete control over him. You know, he made all the girls laugh and everything, but Sejong made him surrender and come to her. The last one is Ji-young. Ji-young and Jia are apparently the more popular contestants based on what the male guest has said, and I think this may be specific to the Korean demographics. I'm not so sure. And of course, many people already talk about the controversy of her being caught fair and innocent at the start of the show, so I'm not going to go into that. Ji-young actually didn't leave a very deep impression on me, because I felt that there was nothing very interesting about her other than the fact that she's a neuroscience student, which was interesting since all the other girls were into their modeling and something about their face. The job has to do with their face, but I think she's just a student who's very pretty, and I didn't really like the fact that, you know, she kept acting that she was very sleepy whenever Sehun tried to talk to her. I think that is just plain rude. There are many better ways that you can go about setting your boundaries or telling someone you are not interested, instead of like, I'm so sleepy. Like, no girl, that's not the way you do it. Which also brings me to the point of why do they join this show. I think because most of them are content creators, they are YouTubers, or they are public figures of some level. So I think they join the show to actually promote themselves, which is kind of like not so genuine in my opinion, which is why I would like to bring about the next point On my favorite character, favorite character would definitely be Yewon, and I only found out that she was also the international fans' favorite choice simply because of how wholesome and genuine she is. Like what I mentioned earlier, you know, everybody is so into dating on this show, but she approaches it more naturally and she makes friends with everyone. She has this quirky, fun, and she's pretty personality that really makes it very fun. I feel like she will be a very fun friend to hang out with, and she's sporty. You know, she likes to do water activities. I love water activities too. And my favorite male cast is Sehun. A lot of people, I think this is not a lot of people's choice, and people will be quite like weirded out the fact that I chose Sehun, because he's obviously a red flag for many of you since his persistence, you know, the discussion about persistence over determination. Is it like too much? Is he overstepping the boundaries when people already said no, or is it like determination really led him to achieve what he wants, and he eventually won Jiyeon's heart in the end of the show? Personally, that's not like the point that stood out to me the most. I think the part about Sehun that stood out to me the most was that the way he communicates with people. I could tell that he's someone that has a lot of empathy and he's very understanding. He never fails to acknowledge people. You remember the scene where they were cooking and he tells all of them good job even though he was the one that cooked most of it. And the last scene when he was in paradise with Jiyeon was complaining about how overwhelmed she felt with her emotions, but he never once talked about how he felt, and he just kept acknowledging her and telling her like good job.
진짜 힘들었겠네.
아니야, 나보다 더 힘들어.
아, 난 이런 거 난 즐겨서 괜찮아.
진짜.
난 이러려고 내가 여기에 오기로 나도 마음 먹었고 와가지고 충실하게 하고 있는 거니까.
지금 너무 미안해서 약간 것 같아.
어?
I mean, like, that is, you really have to put yourself down and hear other people out, and I really admire that about him, to be able to empathize so well with other people's emotions. And I'm back to myself. What I like about the show is that they really plan the sequence of the show very well. There are different criteria each time for them to go to paradise, and I found that very interesting, you know, since the first time it has to be mutual. The girl have to choose the guy and the guy have to choose the girl, and the last part the girl actually have a choice and the guy actually have a choice. I like how the girls have a choice because usually, you know, the males are the ones that take more initiative to like indicate their choice, but in the end I think it's really rewarding, or it's a good feeling for the guys to know that the girls chose them. What could be better for the show? I'm speaking in terms for everyone. I believe we want more screen time for Yewon and Junsik. Yewon is obviously so outstanding and we want to know more about her. Junsik, I'm not sure about him. I don't know much about him. Some people like him. He has that smiley eye similar with Yewon, but we literally know nothing about their love story. We know they spend a lot of time in Infernos while the rest are in Paradise, but there is so much screen time given to those in Paradise that we literally had no idea what were they doing in Infernos. How was their love story developing when they were in Infernos? Why can't you show us that? Overall, I rate it an 8 out of 10 since it's a low commitment show. There's only 8 episodes, so you can watch it very quickly like me. I finished in a span of 2 days, and you can also enjoy a lot of drama in the meantime. And lastly, I'll recommend it to you if you are someone into romance like me. If you are someone who screams when you watch Korean romance and you're into that level of cringe where you know something's gonna happen yet you still cry like me, or you just want to learn some dating tricks, I guess this show would be quite helpful as well. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite part of the show, or who's your favorite character, and also if there's any other shows you would like me to review or talk about in the comments below, and I would love to create more contents like this. It was really fun, and thank you guys for watching.